Hello, guys. Hello again. I'm gonna go ahead and go over um, just let's do maybe one problem from worksheet 7 since there are only 4 problems on here. And they're all pretty much done similarly, right? Here we've got a shape. So let's go ahead and take a look at which one looks the hardest. I think 8 doesn't look too bad, neither does 10. Um, maybe. Maybe 9. And the trapezoid doesn't look too bad either. So I think honestly the hardest one on here might be the number 9. So let's go over that one together. Um, so I can see right here right away that this is a kite. Now I know that because I've got two congruent sides here, and then this also means congruent. Knowing that, right, I know that this is going to be congruent to this. So this is 8. So already I know one of my diagonals is going to be 8 plus 8 or 16. So D1 is 16. All right, but I don't know diagonal 2. And the best way for me to do that, I don't think this is a right triangle, right? Um, Here, so I can't just do 10 squared plus 17 squared, but I do know that this here is a right triangle. This entire intersection is right. Oops, I missed that. So this is one of my sides, this is one of my sides, that's how my hypotenuse. So let's go ahead and use Pythagorean theorem to solve for this piece here. And then we're going to go ahead and use Pythagorean theorem to find this one. And then we're done. All right, no, we're not done, but we found our diagonals. So let's go ahead and name this x and this y. So my first one is going to be 8 squared plus x squared equals 17 squared. And again, you can kind of skip a little bit of steps if you do 17 squared minus 8 squared. And I get 225. Lucky for me, that's one of the ones I know. It's 15, but I'm going to double check it anyway. And yes, the square root of 225 is 15. So I found this. This is 15. Well, now let's go ahead and see if we can find my y. Again, this is 90 degrees. So therefore, this is my base, or this is one of my sides. This is another one of my sides. And across from here is my hypotenuse. Right, that's how I knew that 17 was my hypotenuse. So let's go ahead and solve. Do the same exact thing. Let's go in pink this time. 8 squared plus y squared is equal to 10 squared. I'm just going to go ahead and subtract 8 squared from both sides. And I get y squared is equal to, that should be 36, right? Because 100 minus 64 should be 36. Take the square root and then get a y equals 6. All right, wonderful. Great, I found both of my bases there, x and y, 6 and 15. That means my total diagonal here is going to be 15 plus 6. Diagonal 2 is 21. Great. All right, so now that I have that, the area of a kite, and this also works for area of a rhombus as well, right? That's going to be my diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. And that's it. So let's go ahead and get that in there. All right. Area of this kite is going to be 16 times 21 divided by 2. And actually, this should be total area. So let's say total area of the kite, TA for total area of the kite. 16 times 21 divided by 2 gives us 168. Now, remember, this is probability. We are talking about probability, and it looks like we only want the probability of that shaded region here, the yellow part. So there's two ways that you can do this. The first way is obviously you find the area of the yellow part, and then you set up your equation. But in my case, since I know that the top triangle is congruent to this one, I can just divide it by 2, right? So my formula here is going to be, um, and sorry that I'm taking all this space here, but remember that the probability of of my favorable outcome is always my, well, favorable outcome, what I want. So let's write on here what I, and let's do it this way. Let's be a little bit more clear. The probability of my shaded region, so that's what I want. So let's say shaded is the probability of my favorable outcome, or exactly my shaded, right? So let's go ahead and just use the shaded instead, just so that we're a little bit more clear what we exactly want, over the probability of the total. So I found my total kite area here. So probability that I get something on the shaded region is going to be, why did I put the degree sign? That should be 168, not degrees, units squared. But we're just going to go ahead and put 168 on the bottom there for my total area. Now, since I only want half, well, let's go ahead and divide this by 2. Total area of yellow kites, let's say YK for yellow kite, it's going to be 168 divided by 2, and I get 84 units squared. 84. And this gives me 0.5, which is 50%. But let's see, what did we want? We wanted a to be a simplified fraction, so 0.5 is going to be 1 over 2. So let's go ahead and just simplify those well. 1 over 2. And then we want the b round to the nearest hundredth. So number 9 is going to be 1 over 2, and then b is going to be 0.50. And that's it. And you kind of do the same thing for all of them, except this one you have to solve, obviously take this whole area and subtract away the little rectangle here. Same thing here, whole area of a trapezoid subtracted away by the little triangle. And then the whole triangle subtract away the little triangle, right? And you'll divide by the total. And that's how you get everything. In this case, right, we just divided by 2 because we know that a kite is divisible by or not that it's divisible by 2, but that this top triangle is always going to be congruent to this bottom triangle, so therefore it's half. And that's it. So I hope this helped you guys out. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.